what is a barista competition? What is a barista championship? In your view, there's no right or wrong answer, I guess. It's how do you see, and how do you come back down to decide what is a barista championship for you? Is it a platform? Is it a way of learning things? Is it a training? Is it
a new way of learning things from a different point of view?
Okay. Okay. So maybe let me ask one of my staff. Sean? What is a barista competition to you?
Win the competition.
Huh? What?
So we would like to share some my own experience to others people. Yeah.
Okay, so you find that it's a platform for you to share what you have learned, what your so-called experience as a barista. So some people see a barista competition as a test to themselves, to see what, like partly like what Sean say, but not to show people what they have learned, but it's a form of a test to themselves to see what they have learned. Because you can think that you know a lot, but when you get up and you know that certain things that you are not doing to so-called your best ability, you know where you are lacking, and then with the judges' so-called debrief and comments, you have the opportunity to become even a better barista. That's how I've seen a competition from the first year that I've competed till now, which is 2007. Okay, that's a very, very long time ago, and I guess for me it's I was really lucky because in the first year of competition I didn't win it. I came in second, and that's where I told myself I'm lacking in certain department, and I asked myself where do I think I need to work on, and from then on every competition has been okay, what do I need to achieve on the following year, not in terms of result but in terms of performance as an individual and as a competitor. In like I don't like to talk to people back in 2007, so I was very quiet, very reserved. I would just tell customer, oh, thank you very much, here's your latte, and turn back and go like, okay, I'm making the other latte. So I didn't want to talk to anyone, but when I realized that I was lacking in presentation skills and wasn't being very confident on stage, so that's where I told myself I need to change, and I need to learn the other aspect where I'm lacking. I mean, you can make a very good cup of coffee, but if you don't want to talk about a cup of coffee, then it stops there, right? So, Homie, what do you think is a barista competition? I mean, you have competed in other competitions before.
I think that competition is like trying. I would think for me it's like trying to push myself. So this period, you know, everybody is like trying to be very competitive. So you know, I would say like this period will be very intensive.
Mm-hmm.
So people, so this period I actually pushed. I thought that I actually pushed myself a lot back then.
Okay. It's so to Homing, probably I think he finds that it's an avenue for him to push himself to even perform better through competitions, right? So next question, what do you hope to achieve by competing? Any first time competitor that wants to compete? Christine?
What I hope to achieve, like not to inspire everyone else in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Because like sometimes you watch certain performances, like for example the one I met earlier, right? And then like even if, like years later everybody still talks about their remembers it. But what was truly like, you know, memorable about his performance was what he did that was so different. So I hope to inspire other baristas to do things differently.
Okay. And anyone else that's competing first time? Anyone else? No? Haven't intending to compete? No. I think I must get Kimberly to pull out the SCA registration, and I can maybe call out some names here. So, okay, then maybe Bronwyn, would you like to share what was going on in your mind when you first set out competing? I mean, what do you hope to achieve, or
At that point,
at that point?
it's interesting because I think for a lot of competitors, it's for me it was to prove to myself that I was a good barista, to see that I could like achieve some type of goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't my first competition that I had competed in and won. It was that was my first time winning at that point.
Okay.
I competed several. Like I kept competing just like Pete
Mm-hmm.
and Heather numerous times where you never really win your first time. It's more to learn how to be a better barista. So just like at that point, I competed several times. I'm like, okay, this time I'm gonna win. I had that goal.
Okay.
And I had really worked with trying to, just like all baristas who competed previously. They source their coffees a little more carefully. They have more. They're a little more focused.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was just like how far could I go? Could I really get to that goal, to that end goal at that point? And also for me, it was okay. I'm working with a company that I really believed in at the time, and also I wanted to get their name out there and that they were doing good things. So it was, for me, it was very goal-oriented to showcase like this company and what I can do. So it was very, very focused, I guess,
Okay.
for myself.
Thank you. So maybe. Huh? Here. Who's that? So we have another ex-competitor there, Mr. Fadli.
Yeah.
This one check it. Yeah, it's okay. We'll come around. So maybe would you like to share with everyone what were you thinking and what were you hoping to achieve the first time you competed?
Okay.
Anyway, this is Fadli. He's from Maison. Used to be competed with Maison, and now he's with Vero Coffee. So if you need green coffee, you can look for him. This is not sales talk, huh?
Okay, so basically, my first competition was in 2011. So for the first year, it was more of exposure and basically learning about. Because the way I look at it, there's a difference between being a professional barista and a competition barista. So for the first year, it was just to learn about being a competition barista, learn the ropes whatsoever. And the second year, 2 years ago. So actually, my purpose there was, to just put myself up there, see where I land, in the bench, and basically to learn whatever that you cannot learn behind the bar, like bar management. One example that I can share with you, a real life example is, when I was working behind the bar, I used to sweep my grounds to the floor, and then one of the judges asked me after the competition, "Is that what you do in your cafe?" I was like, "Yes." So I was penalized quite badly for that. So I mean, to put into a cafe context is something that we tend to look over. So it helps. So those are the kinds of experience I was looking for, the learning lessons.
So I guess like for me, what I like to expand on what Fadli has mentioned is a lot of people feel and think that barista competition and barista championships are very fake. They feel like, oh, you do so many things, but in real life you do not do it. But I beg to differ because I truly believe whatever you can do on stage for the competition can be duplicated and performed in terms of the cafe operations, minus out the signature drink. Because, I mean, it's still possible. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's not something that you will want to be doing on a day-to-day basis. I mean, let's face the fact. Discussed my signature drink last year. I have a frozen Earl Grey tea ice ball. And how many can I produce a day to be serving? I mean, it can be done, but it has to be like a limited serve, like probably over the weekend. I mean, we're intending to launch that, but probably you get only like 20 per weekend. So while stock lasts kind of thing. So we don't want to be all optimistic and say that every action that you do on stage can be done in the cafe. But when it's down to technical skills like clean as you go, sweeping up the grounds, okay, even yeah, I still need to bring down my vacuum cleaner here. So at the world stage, I make use of a vacuum cleaner to clean up the grounds around the grinder and everything, and it can be done at cafe level. It's possible. So a lot of people are saying that, oh, it's all for show in whatever you do at Barista Championship, but I beg to differ, because whatever routine that we have so-called come up with and practice, to me it must be practical, and it must be able to duplicate and do it in short. So when we are training the guys behind the counter and all that, it's with all those in mind that, okay, you have to clean and dose before you dose your coffee, you have to clean the sprout, you have to flush, you have to purge your steam arm. So a lot of people, they are very different in cafe and in competition. But what I'm trying to say is, try your very best to be able to incorporate that same standard that you want to perform in a competition and on a so-called on a cafe setup. Okay. Then what else do I want to talk about? Okay. Maybe we have. Let's talk about relevance. Xingyi and Hiwei, we have competed just last year. What do you think is the most important factor or variable in a barista championship or barista competition? That is the first so-called to get yourself kick-started. Like, what do you decide on first whether you wanna compete or not? What is on what basis would you so-called make your decision?
I guess I'll go for the coffee itself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be something you are ready.
So it's just for the head judge to take a form of reference on what the barista's performance is, so that when they're at the back, they can deliberate on the results and whether the judges are being calibrated, are being fair, or have the judges been attentive to what they are being served. So these are very important criteria as well. Okay, I have two sets of sensory and technical. Whoever is interested probably can take one copy of each. Okay, you all can feel free to ask, because the score sheet is where it's gonna determine whether you make it or you don't make it. Okay, all the scores are in there, and you need to know what you'll be scoring in that sense. Okay, so a bit about the score sheet is there are two styles of scoring in there. There is a 0 to 6 that's based on the evaluation scale, and there is a yes or no. So yes or no scoring will just be 1 point. Okay, but so that one, there's no gray area. There's no, I think he's quite okay. No, it's did he do it, did she do it, or did she not do it? So it's an outright yes or no. So it's only a 1 point. Okay, on an evaluation scale of 0 to 6, okay, judges are being trained in a way that we don't think, oh, he's doing okay lah. Okay means halfway, 3 points. No, it's not. If you all look at bottom of the score sheet, on the scale, 0, okay, is unacceptable, 1 is acceptable, 2 is average, 3 is good, 4 is very good, 5 is excellent, 6 is extraordinary. Please do not ask me how to score 6 or extraordinary. I cannot tell you. If I find all the answers to be able to do that, then I might challenge for the WBC again. Okay, I'm still seeking the answer. Okay, so very outright, there isn't any 0.5 scoring, because there's no in between of unacceptable and acceptable. There's no I can't decide. No, so it's only unacceptable or acceptable. But from 1 onwards, there is half point scale. Okay, so what determines the half point, some of you may ask, is more like when I look at it, I will ask you this question: do you think it's good? You say yes. Do you think it's better than good? Yes. Do you think it's very good? No. So that will fall on a 3.5 point. If you look at it or you taste something and say, wow, this is very good, then next question will be, is it better than very good? And if it's a yes, so it could be a 4.5 already. Then is it better than, is it excellent? And you go like, yeah, this espresso is probably one of the best I've had in the last 3 years. That something that you can remember. Then that kind of feeling, that kind of taste, evaluation, sensation will score you probably a 5. It's like if you can drink something and you have a feel that this is out of this world, like WTF. Like, I've never tasted anything like that in a positive way, then it would probably score you 5.5, 6. But it has to be probably one of the best espresso you ever had in your life to get that 5.5 to 6 points on taste balance and tactile. I mean, everyone is so experienced in drinking coffee and all that. So I believe you all have that particular moment that once you all drank a particular cup of coffee, you go like, wow, this is one of the best I have ever had. Like some people describe it as God shot or the perfect cup or whatsoever you want to call it. But I find that it's this kind of experience that the judge have to feel before you get something that's scoring in this region. Okay, so yeah, the tips that I can have for everyone present would probably be whether you are a judge, whether you are a competitor. Okay, I forgot to ask this question. Anyone is a trainer for someone here? Anyone is a roaster for any competitor down here? So one other important factor is I find that some of my experience with other organizations who train their staff for competitions or they roast. If we can be a roaster, we can be a trainer, but we have to be very clear cut in a way that sometimes the barista doesn't get the chance to express themselves. They are limited by what their roaster wants them to do, what their trainer wants them to do. The trainer insists, no, you must do this, but the barista doesn't feel comfortable and feel that this is not what I want to present. Or they go like, oh no, you must use this coffee. This coffee is roasted for you. Then I have a friend in Malaysia that just asked me, John, if someone asks you to roast their competition coffee and then you know the way that you roast this coffee, probably if it's done well can score a 4. I say, okay. And the barista insists that you should roast it another way. I mean, the barista give you input and say, for example, oh, can you bring out more roast development? I want to soften out the acidity. I want to bring out a bit more sweetness. But after roasting and testing it out, the barista likes it, but you know, because I'm a judge, right? You know that it will not score as high as your previous roast. Would you insist on your roast or you allow the barista to make changes to your roast? So it's probably an open question to everyone. I mean, I don't want to find an answer to this, but for me, I'll say, I'll go ahead with the barista, what the barista wants. Because in the event, I roast it your way and you're happy with it, you compete, you don't do well, you can't blame me. But if I insist on my way and enforce it on you to go compete and you don't do well, it could be you screwed up. But you will in turn come back and blame it on me. But that's not because I'm afraid to be blamed, but it's more like the star. I mean, let's face it this way. The star of this competition is not roaster, it's not trainers, it's not who can train the best barista. It's which barista actually is the best representation in the competition. We need to be allowing the barista to showcase what they know, what they have. We want to guide them along. I mean, if they are stubborn and they just go like, no lah, I know what I'm doing. Okay lah, you go take your head, bang the wall. I'm not going to stop you. But we want to allow them because we don't want, if I were to control everything that they want to say, like for example their routine, no, you need to present like that. And I'm just like controlling a robot. So if I want to so-called remote a barista on competition, I might as well compete myself. I think that's not being fair to the barista. We should let them have their free form of expression. Yes, we want them to be a good representation for our company, or if they want to step up and say that, for example, they want to say, oh, my trainer John, and they perform like, I go like, but it doesn't matter because it's them. This competition is about them. It's not about me. I don't care whether people feel John or train no standard. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's not an avenue for me to prove myself. It's not what I'm looking at. So that's where I find that barista should be a bit more vocal. I mean, don't quarrel with your boss or your roaster or your trainer lah, but as in, ask them, can you allow me a bit more? But please share with them what you intend to do. Like tell them that this is the direction that I'm going, this is what I want to showcase, this is my plan and what I want to achieve and execute. And definitely your roaster or your trainer are there for a reason. They're there to help you. So your roaster is there to give their expertise on how the roast is performing, what else can be done to improve this coffee. Your trainer is there to help you look at your performance and tell you what else you can do to so-called improve on your performance. And I guess that is the more important part. Like, but there are definitely out there some roasters that, no lah, this is my coffee, you want you use lah, don't want don't use. Right? My style or no style? No style, not your style. So there are people that are like that. I mean, I've encountered before through my years of competing or even training. There are trainers that enforce, they want you to move exactly like them, the way they do things and all. But I don't think that is the best way to try and groom a barista to compete in Barista Championships. That's how I see it. Okay. Okay. Questions so far? Oh, hi. So, does anyone have any questions for me? I'm actually a bit surprised at the turnout. I didn't expect so many people.
Actually, I have a question regarding one of the
Okay.
Like, you know the signature beverage component, right?
Okay.
Because from what I understand, there's this rule that if you don't use 100% of the espresso, the signature drink, it's -10.
What do you mean by -10?
Like as in, they'll minus your points.
No, you get 0 for the taste.
But that's actually because I'm just reading this over, right?
Yep,
There's
yep.
no rule that says that.
Oh, I can't recall exactly where, but I think it's 2.2.3 at the front. It's wait, let me just check. Okay, part C, 2.2.3 C. Each of the 4 signature beverage must contain a minimum of 1 espresso shot, as per the definition of the espresso, which is 2.2.1 lah. Okay, so otherwise the competitor will receive a score of 0 points for taste balance on the sensory score sheet in the signature beverage category.
But then because I recall like 2 years back, I think it was your signature drink.
Okay.
When you pop the espresso through a filter.
Not me, Keith.
Or keep very
2010, 2011.
Yeah.
So, for Hario V60, espresso through, and then balance whatever the liquid he use it.
Yeah.
So why is it
So
not?
is the filtrate considered?
The filtrate was to remove the crema. The filtration was to remove the crema, so he allowed everything to drip through. As long as there's no more liquid left in the V60, normally they will allow it.
But then because because I actually weighed it out. Like when you pour like say 30 ml of espresso through a V60 paper, right, it actually loses 9 grams.
There's nothing in these rules that says weight.
Yeah, that's why. So I just want to know what's like the threshold of how like what percentage of
Okay, let me share a little bit on.
Considerably judged on code. Each tasting sensory has to receive
1 full shot.
1 full shot.
So
It doesn't matter how it weighs.
you can serve a ristretto. Okay, it will. It's like even in the definition of espresso, right? They say that espresso, you might have cupped this coffee, you might have just tasted it as a brew. For me, I'll share how I select my coffee. Okay, I can drink like every different coffee as brew. I can drink 10. So what I tasted was, you know those how to say the, yeah, it's called 挂耳包lah. It's very popular in Taiwan. Owen, do you have here? Somewhere here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, it's those sachet coffee where you can just tear open, hook it on the mug, pour hot water, 3 minutes later ready to drink. That's my very good travel companion lah. So I go everywhere, I got coffee to drink. Okay. So when I first decided, okay, 1st September, 2014, 1st September, I decided I want to compete. So I got a lot of coffee. I got 20 over different coffee, and I just make coffee and drink. So I took down notes on flavors. Like for example, this particular coffee, there's raspberry, body, medium, whatsoever. Just drink and just put down notes. Like coffee, 1 to 10, what do I have? So after that, I just ask myself, what are the flavors that I would like to work with for my competition? So from that list of 20, I shortlist into 5. Then I got my roaster and then to, hey, can you do this 5 for me? Just 500 grams, but I want it roasted a bit different for espresso. Okay, for filter and for espresso, definitely it's 2 different roasts. So this something like that where you hooks onto a cup. So honestly, I drink a lot of my coffee this way lah. Don't judge me, please. Yeah. So from a list of 20, I came down to 5 and got them to roast 5 different coffee for me that's designed for espresso. Then I decided I didn't cup the coffee. I didn't cup last year. So once the coffee arrived, I just put it into my this setup, the rover and the GB5, and I'm pulling shots, then tasting and all. So at the same time, because my roaster roasted some Panama Geisha, and he just go like, he asked me, do you want to use this in a competition? I go like, do I have to use this in a national competition? I say, it's very expensive. Like, he said, don't care about the price first, just taste the coffee. He said, since I already roasted some, I'll just send it to you, taste the coffee. Okay, so when I went through my 5 different coffee, which is a Panama, Santa Teresa, natural process, Caturra, Santa Teresa, honey, Caturra. I have a Kenyan, 2 Kenyans, and 1 Costa Rica. So when I tasted, I was quite happy because those are the flavors that I wanted. So I'm still considering what I want to use or things like that. Then, okay lah. So I took my 200 grams of the FST Geisha, and I go like, how to pour? I didn't have an EK, so I go like, just pour everything in. First shot that I put was 14 seconds. It was just gushing. I go like, and I don't waste it lah. Geisha drink lor. No matter how bad, she just drink lah. Okay. So I took it, and when I sip it and when I drank it, immediately the score sheet came out. Then in my mind, it just gave a score on taste balance, tactile balance, and the flavors were so prominent that I know it's very easy to describe, and the judges can get it, and I can score. So in my mind, it just goes straight. This is a competition coffee. It's not the best roast. It's not the exact so-called dosage and everything that I want to do. So I decided, okay, let me just, I probably left with like 150 grams in there. So I tune it a little bit, fine it up, dose, put a second shot. Then I already decided that it's still behaving the same way. I get the same sensation, the same feeling about this coffee. So I told myself, this is a competition coffee and I want to work with this. So back then, my roaster has his way of roasting this, but I shared with him, I would like to bring out more sweetness in this. Then it lacks a little bit body, don't really cut through milk, etc. We talk about all this, then we adjust the roast. That was probably somewhere already in December. So we are only about 1.5 months away, 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks away from SMBC. So only when he adjusts his roast, send it to me, then we decided what we want to go ahead with. And that's where I created the signature drink and what we wanted to do back from there on. So I don't think, I mean whoever the roasters are present, I don't think it's fair to say that there is one standard roast for espresso or there's one standard roast for filter. There is a baseline that we start off with, and when we taste the coffee, we will ask ourselves what else we want to bring out in this coffee, and then we alter and we change our roast to complement this. That's what I feel. So if you ask me, will I roast if I were to serve the FST Geisha on espresso over here? I'll roast it the same way that I'm actually doing it for the competition, the same manner. Then if I were to serve, yeah, that would, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question. So I don't think I will purposely roast lighter for competing, or I will roast it darker for my cafe, because like I told you, my true belief is whatever can be done in a competition format, I believe must be able to translate back into the cafe. Okay. Any other questions from anyone?
How do you actually, if we are competing and we are starting off, because there's this taster wheel, there's usually sweet and sweet, sour, bitter, and everything of different. We go to like raspberries, blueberries, apples, and all that. How do you actually build up your taste buds to go there? Because in the barista competition, you need to be able to describe like the taste that the coffee bring up.
The taste, the flavors.
When you start drinking coffee, the only thing that you get described from it is acidic or bitter. But
how to build up? Okay, I find that yes, when we all first start to get so-called introduced to coffee, we probably will only be straightforward, sour, bitter, or sweet. Then that's about it. But then I think you need to start to ask yourself what kind of sour, what kind of bitterness, what kind of sweetness, then associate it with flavors that you are familiar with. And how to build it up is there's no one born to taste, but it's more on everyone can taste, is whether how sensitive they are or how well trained they are. Train in the sense that it's not asking you to keep drinking coffee and train, but make it a point to remember food, fruits, anything that you eat. And when you get so-called your next cup of coffee, when you taste sour, what kind of sour? I mean, a lot of maybe laymen will feel that, oh, I don't like coffee that's sour. Acidic means sour, no, I don't like. But if there is no acidity in coffee, it's boring, it's flat. Okay, so acidity, there's good acid, bad acid. Like we can talk about, oh, I mean, barista can step up and say, oh, I'm serving you this particular coffee. You can find lemon citrus acidity in it. Okay, lemon sounds good, sounds acceptable. Lemon is a fruit, but there's also good lemon and bad lemon. So again, it's like there's fresh lemon, there's stale lemon, there's processed lemon. So if you want to go down to very specifics, we can, like, there's lemon, there's lime, there's so many other, like orange. But if I leave an orange juice squeeze and sitting out there for 2 hours, oxidized, I wrap it up, I put into the fridge, I bring it out to you and say that, oh, it's cold, it's fresh orange. Do you think the acidity of an orange is positive? So the only way to train your taste bud is to remember, is to create I call it a flavor data bank. Always remember, oh, now I'm eating a grape. Oh, how does a grape taste like? Save it somewhere. Okay, so there are some people that drink a coffee and say, oh, this coffee reminds me of a Shiraz, a wine. They associate it, but there's almost winey grapes to this particular coffee. It can be associated in that way. And who is there to say that you are wrong? Because you remember the flavors you are familiar with. It may not be something that everyone else can get, but that is where, as how you associate flavors. Like no one is born to, the baby can't drink this coffee and tell you grape or apple. They must get in touch with apples first. They must get in touch with grape. So the only way to remember or to so-called improve your taste buds is to avoid spicy food, avoid salt. Not avoid totally, but honestly is cut down. Do not go too spicy. Too much of everything is also not good. Too much coffee is also not good. So what I find that is eat a bit slightly cleaner. It helps a lot. Okay, for smokers, don't smoke. No, but I smoke as well. So the key is do not. But let's say for those that are smoking, right? If you stop smoking for 2 weeks, totally stop smoking, you will actually see that your taste buds will become more acute. You can taste even more. That's what I can guarantee you. Okay, but what we also don't recommend is do not change your lifestyle just suddenly. It's like the flavors that you are used to right now, if tomorrow you suddenly say, oh, next 2 days I'm not going to smoke, then after that I want to go for a coffee competition. I taste the coffee. It's totally different from what you are used to. So do not do drastic change in your lifestyle. But if you want, you can start to quit smoking and say hi to better taste buds. Yeah, that's. Yes.
I realized that there is an increased number of geishas in the competitions. But after all these years, geisha never win competitions. So
I was sharing just now.
Yeah, it's a Sudan Ume, it's the something that is very different. So what's your opinion as a judge? Like you get something like a Sudan Ume which you never tasted before.
It's more to as if I were in a judge position, okay? I seriously don't care what you serve me.
But would you expect a very high score if the barista say I'm serving you a geisha?
See, let's face the fact here.
Sorry, I'm a latecomer.
I walked up to the world stage and I told them all about my coffee. It's a geisha, but I wasn't in the top 6. And well, in the semi-finals is, I served a geisha, but I over-extracted it. So on the scores, they're saying bitter, 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 bitter. So how do I get that score? It's back down to barista skill. If you can make a bourbon, red bourbon, Catora, Catuai taste sweet, and not like back in 2010, but now if you make it taste sweet, balance off of acidity and bitterness, it doesn't have to be a geisha to be scoring 5 in taste.
So somehow we are expecting that the geisha somehow will be over-extracted so that our coffee could stand out. No, is that what you say?
Yes.
No, because for example, if you were to put a properly cooled geisha and a properly cooled
then let me throw the question back to you. In last year Indonesia Barista Championship, okay, top 30, they were competing in the so-called, they call it the grand finals. 18 geishas, 3 made final. So the rest all over extracted it. I mean, I didn't taste all 30 cups of coffee to be able to say what I think and what I feel. But it's overall, you see, you have to find. I mean, what I found very distinct about that geisha that I used last year was the flavor notes was very easy to find. Right? So when you describe, it's very easy for judges to link to and relate. Okay, taste balance is very balanced.
So you're saying it's more about the service and letting them have the time to taste the coffee properly?
It's not whether you give them the time or not. I mean, if you tell them that, okay, drink faster, drink it up, finish it now, I will not be able to score you down based on flavor, but I'll just put on customer service law.
Yeah.
Like, he's rushing me. There's no service, not professional. Probably you think it's very professional lah. I'm very convincing. I know what I want. Faster, judge. Please drink it up now. 1 sip, 2 sip. Okay, finish. Okay, now I'm gonna make you a cappuccino. Come, 1 sip. Okay, now. Drink. Okay, drink. Like, if you're rushing me in that way, it's not whether I can find flavors or not. It's whether I feel comfortable at all or not. That comes back down to your performance, and it's nothing to do with the flavor score. So you have to.
One more. So basically, I realized that there's a very big flavor descriptor score for cappuccinos, for milk beverages and espressos.
Yeah, it's not very big lah. They split up the score. From last year to this year, the rule change impact the milk category. Instead of cappuccino, they call it a milk category. So you are free to choose whatever you want to serve in the milk. There are certain restrictions. Read the rules. Okay.
So basically, my question is for flavor descriptors.
Yep.
As a judge, how would you basically judge me if I were to say my espresso tastes like frozen hibiscus, so which you never tasted before?
Okay.
So how do you score that?
So, would you want to share with everyone that if you are saying frozen hibiscus, what do you expect everyone to be looking out for?
Flowery, maybe a bit tarty, I don't know.
Okay.
So something that.
But why frozen? So I'm supposed to taste like iciness on the tongue? Is it a sparkling sensation you are trying to describe? So if you tell me it has floral aroma like the white flower in my hometown, how do I know what white flower is it in your hometown? Especially if you go to world levels lah.
No, but I think the point he's trying to make is what
Yep.
if I gave you a flavor descriptor of something that you've not tasted before?
How do you score that?
How would you score that?
Like for example, if I said quids, how many people here have had raw quids?
So as a barista, would you want to take this gamble and tell them that? Would you want to go to a world competition and tell judges that, oh, this coffee will remind you of durian?
Yeah.
How many of them will? I mean, let's be honest, it's your choice. You really feel that it's durian. But then, would the 4 judges from maybe Norway, Switzerland, States, and will they have all tasted durian?
Yeah, exactly. That's
You can say that, oh, this particular floral aroma is like the orchid back at my backyard. How many of them might really know what is orchid? It's debatable. Judges will tend to. I know. Okay? Let me be frank with you. I don't know whether they know or they do not know. Okay, you think they know, they think you do not know, or I know you think you know. So I don't care whether you think they know or they do not know. But would you want to take this gamble? I mean, let's face the fact. When you step out onto the stage, everything that you choose to say is a gamble. How big or how small this gamble will be is when you decided that your shots are not flowing right. Would you want to take the gamble, remake the shot, and might run the risk of going overtime? Or you decide to just serve whatever you have? It's all a gamble, it's all a choice. Okay? You want to, you can bring frozen hibiscus, put on stage right in front of them and tell them that these are the frozen hibiscus that I'm talking about. I know you cannot taste it, but take it as a form of reference. You can choose to do it. So they want, you slash the possibility of, that one, I know, but actually don't know. It's what you want to do lah, basically. Okay, so we'll answer that question. Right?
John.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, sorry, Barista.
So for your routine last year, I think in the finals you had a significant overtime temperature, right?
You mean Singapore nationals, right?
Yeah, national.
Yeah.
How did you still manage to win the What do you think was compensating for the overtime temperature?
The coffee. The coffee saved me a lot.
Okay.
Right after I called time, when I'm done, right, I walk to the timekeeper, I ask, what's the time? She tell me 15:55. I went like, okay lah, at least not a straight disqualification. 5 more seconds, 16 minutes, disqualified.
Okay, so you basically maxed out your time, right?
Close to maxed out lah. 4 more seconds. Okay? So honestly speaking, like a gentle reminder to everyone is, I think I was really lucky lah that I was having the only geisha last year lah in SMBC.
Mighty Geisha.
Okay? Only geisha, the only one SMBC.
Not Mighty Geisha.
So that coffee was really interesting and it scored in all the category on the sensory score sheet. And on the sensory score sheet there's actually a lot of multipliers where my scores was really high. So I didn't know. I didn't taste the coffee and give it to the judge. But then when I was the first competitor, right? I swapped place with Dennis, and I had to go up first, and I go like, okay lah, nothing wrong with it, but just that the machine had a bit of problem. I was remaking, if I recall correctly, I was pulling 10 double shots. Yeah, so that's why I went a little bit over time, because the pressure of the machine wasn't behaving, but probably it's me, I don't know. The technician checked and say there's nothing wrong with the machine, so I live with it. Okay, so the lucky thing is I didn't get disqualified, because if I get disqualified, no matter how high my score are, there's no point in it. And basically after I completed, and I didn't think I had a chance to get into the final. I'll be very frank, because 55-point deduction is a lot. It's really a lot. Nothing else you can do can save you from that. It's like I always train people and I tell them that do not go overtime. Overtime penalty is very painful because every 1 second is 1 point. Okay, back in 07, 08, right, there's a lot of barista is we call it Geisha. They finish all the drink already, right, then they see they got 30 seconds left. They're like, oh, just let me go and clean up my station. They go clean. They clean until they overtime because they forgot. Then by the time they clean, they say, no, I must clean. Then after that, I add back half point or 1 point to my station at the end. Okay, for that half a point from one technical judge and half a point from the other technical judge, 1 point, they went 5 seconds overtime. So they lost 4 points. So you need to be in control of your competition. But I just felt that there was a bit of element of luck last year that in the end that my scores pulled me through The coffee pulled me through for the day one, and then I was giving us a chance to redeem myself for the finals That's all I can say. Yeah. That's what I felt I mean, I was sitting in the stands and all the equipment, everything is all packed up already. Because honestly, when we compete last year, you have in your mind who are your top few that will qualify So I look at all of them compete and I go like, do so well, okay in, okay, this one in, okay, this one in. I say 6 spot all taken already, no chance already. That's what I thought. I mean, it will always be in your mind in that way. So I was very, I thought the association wanted to make a fool out of me also because every other year that I compete, right, when they announce the finalists, they always like to announce my name last. I make it really, really nervous for me there. Then this year, last year, they said, we are going to announce the finalists in the order that they have performed. Then I go like, I'm number 1 You call Danny's name, I know I'm out already I go like, wow, they have to do this to me. I go like, never mind forget it Then when they call their name, I don't know who has the video of it. I was really shocked. I don't expect it. And then that's where I also realized that on the following day, I was having a chat with Terrence. Then I realized that he actually made a mistake with the signature drink. So he lost a lot more points than compared to me. So last year, based on score sheet, is 0 to 6 times 4. He got 0, 0, 0, 0. 4 judges. So 0 to 6, 24 points each judge. Maximum of 24 points each judge. So there's almost close to 100 points there. 96. I mean, okay no one gets 6 but on average you need to at least hammer a 3 or 3.5 on that taste, or even 4. So if you take on average 4 points, one judge multiplied by 4 is 16, and you multiply by 4. That's 70 competition last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to bring back on the part of the taste, the taste score sheet.
Yep.
Like you say, you found the coffee to have distinct flavor notes, right? And you describe it, this. Now in the worlds, there are also people who describe just the word. After they describe it and they add in complex. Now complex can be really complex. And how do they really want to score on this word itself? Once they finish describing and they say the coffee is complex, how would it reflect?
Normally, I will just take it as a descriptor on how the coffee, the flavors are going to be. But there's no way to score this word complex.
So they would just ignore it?
Yeah. I mean, what's complex? Flavor, complex of acidity, complex in the complexity in the finish. But you're not being specific in it, you see. So I can tell you that something like this coffee is nice. So how do you want to score nice? There's no direction that you want to put a finger on and say which part. Where you will notice that for me, I like to associate flavor notes with a sensory experience. So for example, you'll find notes of vanilla blossom in the aroma, okay? Notes of Earl Grey in the finish. Then tea-like finish. What else do I have? Like peach, apricot flavors, and also lime acidity. So you associate, I like to associate flavors to a taste sensation. So it's easier for the judge to look for. Like, I mean, that's how I will do it lah. Then sometimes barista really don't know what to say. They go like, this particular coffee, you taste this, this long aftertaste of a Earl Grey tea, and it's complex. They don't know what else to say. Sometimes it's a filler word for them, but you don't have to try and zero it into what category do you want to put a point to it or mark it. That's what I feel. Yeah. Okay.
One question.
Okay.
So the title of this whole event is Let's Talk About Barista Competition.
Yep.
So my question is actually a little bit broad lah. Talking about barista competition, specifically WBC and everything under WC in general. So like before this, actually, I wasn't very keen on having me or having any of my staff participate in competitions. Solely for the fact because whatever when we see competitions, it's always that from my understanding, I know that competitions are kind of set up to represent what barista do, and then of course yes, you push them to the limit and all this because it's on the world stage and all this. But end of the day, we want to be able to reflect what we do in the cafe in the competition. But when you go to competition, all you see is that people talking about coffee, talking about elevation, how they grow their coffee, how they process, what honey they use to make the thing come out like that. So it becomes a little bit, and yes, you use Geisha, you use expensive coffee, but to a certain point it becomes, in a very blunt word, I feel that it's pretentious. I'm not sure if this is just my own opinion, but at some point in time when you look at competitions, it's very, sometimes you hear people saying, just marketing and all this, but
partly I'll agree with it.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the competition, you have the bragging rights and to market yourself for a year. I don't really want to do it, but it is some people see. We didn't manage to get this at the start when we discussed what do barista competition mean to certain people. They might find that it's a good way to market themselves, the way the company is operating, market in different manner. I agree with Will in the sense that sometimes we view competition is pretty pretentious. It's just like where will people talk, flush, white, handle up, lock, extract, cup down. It becomes very clockwork. It becomes very pretentious. And what we are actually lacking in is a lot more from the baristas to excite people about the coffee that they are serving back in cafe. How many cafes do we walk in and we get like the barista, hi, today I'm gonna get you this coffee, but we don't get that anymore at a lot of places. Oh, would you like? Oh, okay, yeah. So it comes down to a lot in that way as well. I will have to agree in that sense, but it's really down to all those baristas that have competed, that intend to compete, because at the end, right, what are they looking for in a barista champion? It's an ambassador for the specialty coffee within your country. It's to be a role model, to be someone that excites people about this craft. That's what you need to be. It's not about, I'm a champion. That's it. That's not. I guess one of these reasons why I want to do this sharing session with everyone is to let everyone know that being a barista champion is the same. The amount of people that I can excite is only that much. Only when the whole industry is putting in their keen effort to bring our coffee, Singapore coffee industry to the next level, then that is where we will educate more consumers, and that's where we'll excite more people about what specialty coffee can be. We are already here, but let's not let it be stagnant. We have a lot more potential to explore. That's what I find, and that's what I can say. I part agree with you, but being so involved in competition year in, year out, whether as a judge, as an organizer, or as a competitor, I have faith in this competition. It can open the doors to even more things in coffee. But I have to agree with you in the sense that sometimes you look back at it and you feel that it's kind of sad because a lot of people are only putting up a show during competitions. But that is where they don't practice what they are doing on stage back on a day-to-day basis. That's what I say. I mean, yeah.
There's no answer to this, just
there's no
opinion. Yeah.
There's no, yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Out of like all the competitions you see in Singapore throughout the years, right? Do you feel that Singaporean competitors should all
honestly, barista competition got to quite a boring way of presentation until the year that I saw CE compete. Really. No, because a lot of competitors would become very robotic and they would like to step up and, hi, I'm John. I'm really happy to be here. Today my coffee that I'm serving, it becomes so stagnant. And then that's where they go, okay, now is this, I'll deliver my opening speech, this chunk. I'll pour you water, I'll be right back. It's all standardized in that sense. But Asians typically lack a little bit more presentation skill compared to our counterparts in elsewhere in the world. We are shy, we don't dare to be vocal. Okay, for Sin, because I judged her in 2014 SMBC, day one, not the finals. So, yeah. So, when she stepped up and when she started talking, she didn't stop. Okay? She, in a way, she made it very difficult for the judges to judge her. But then again, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with talking for 15 minutes non-stop during your 15 minutes. Okay? Delivering of key information is the important criteria. Michael Phillips did that and won the World Championship. But just that in this part of the world, we have never seen anyone present in that way before. So she was like very lively and all the way da 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 da. So all the judges go like, when they went to the back and they sat down and go like, what did she say? So as I was the head judge, I was standing behind all of them. I was supposed to evaluate like everything, and at that year we didn't have a shadow judge. So I had to make sure that I got all the information down. Important information like tasting notes, altitude, rolls, etc. Whatever else she has said. And also at the same time, whenever she has a special instruction for the judge, I need to remember and make sure that the judges are following. So it made it more difficult for me as the head judge. And I was almost going crazy. But then it's like it's refreshing, you see. It's not like, okay, yeah, so this marks the end of my performance. I hope you enjoy yourself. Done. I don't know what else to say. That kind of thing. But it's just different. It added a different element in there.
So a more casual, like fun approach?
Yes, I guess in that way. But I mean, it was really stressful for the judges. Really. They go like and they still have to write. So you imagine they're stressed. They have to write very fast. Their face like that. But then they have to smile. You all are the judges, right? I'll be like the shadow judge. I'm supposed to take down all the information. So I'll be looking at all your facial expression as well. At the same time, it's an evaluation of the judges to see whether they are following protocols, whether they are smiling, whether they are encouraging the baristas, or they are like. Okay? So the duty of the shadow judge standing at the corner will be always, once they look up, then they will. It doesn't appear on TV one. Then all the judges will see, then they will start to. So next time you look at live stream, if you see a judge suddenly look up, the face is like that, and suddenly you know what you see on the other side. Okay, that's what I can share with you in that sense. So my experience with judging actually makes me feel that it makes me understand a lot more about the 4 persons that sit there. They're equally stressed. So that's where I decided that I want them to feel comfortable, because I truly believe that when they're comfortable, when you make it easy for them to judge you, it makes it easy for them to score you. It's like, if you make it outright, they taste it, they go like, that's 3.5. Sure 3.5? Yeah. They can confirm on their pots immediately. When you make it, they go like, is that a 3? Is that a 3.5? Well, I really don't know, man. Normally it drops to the lower score. I personally feel it that way. So that's where I go like, yeah, it has to make them, you have to make them as comfortable as your customers, where they get to enjoy the coffee and just the coffee. Everything is about them. You can talk like a presenter, you can be a showman, you can start dancing on stage. All this doesn't matter. Seriously. I mean, yeah, like it matters maybe in a bad way, but it doesn't add on to more of the score. It's allow the coffee the chance to speak for you. You are speaking on behalf of the coffee, you are being the voice for the coffee, but in the end, when you land your drinks down, right, okay, give the coffee the opportunity to speak for you. So that's, yeah, I just thought about this anyway. Yeah, so, okay, so guess we'll wrap this up. Anyone has any final question? Probably nothing. Okay, well, thank you for everyone being here. Thanks.